Well, hello there. I have been getting so many emails of Kelly, have you been hacked? Kelly, are you okay? What's going on with your mailbox, Kelly? What is happening with you? Are you okay? And I am here to tell you that yes, I'm okay. I have been meaning to do these videos for so long. I'm going to break it up in a couple parts to answer FAQ questions that I've been getting on email, and I haven't been doing a good job explaining. So I'm going to try to put it into a video to make it concise, but sometimes I ramble, so I'm going to try to break it up. And I have found something that is 100% offline. It is no selling, no quotas, no team building, no sharing with others. It's all writing letters to companies. And it feels so therapeutic to write again. I haven't written anything in decades. The most I've written was, David, here's your food. Kids, take the dogs out when you get home. And when I first started writing, my brain was like, whoa, what are you doing? We don't write. Like, what is happening? But after getting used to writing again, it feels almost like I'm in elementary school or I'm like a secretary or something. And it feels so good to disconnect and just focus on the writing. It's been a great distraction for me. I never dreamed I'd be sharing this with anyone because when I started, I barely even told David what I was doing because I first initially wanted to make sure that it was legit. And I am more the free spirit in our relationship and I'm the entrepreneur. And I've been bitten by the entrepreneurship bug in 2013 and I haven't stopped since. And he's more the corporate guy, paycheck every 2 weeks, everything goes in Excel. And so I didn't really share it because I didn't know if it was legitimate. And I started this because I wanted to see if this was something that the kids could do when they were of age to do it. So I'm like, let me be the guinea pig. Let me vet this for them to see because I love teaching them about entrepreneurship. I love showing them entrepreneurship. I love modeling it for them. So I'm like, this could be really cool. I think this would be really fun to do. For them, let me try it out. And then I accidentally fell in love with it in the process. I consider it like a healthy distraction from stress, the outside world. I have been suffering with grief since 2023. So this has been a great place for me to channel that and almost like escape from that a little bit in a healthy way, if that makes any sense. So it's been nice to sit outside under the tiki while the dogs are playing and just write while I'm enjoying all the fresh air, or when I have cracks in between clients, or before the kids wake up, or just in the cracks of my day, trying to find spots to write because I find that like I get addicted to things and I get super passionate about things. So I'm like, oh my gosh, when can I fit this in? So I don't look at it. So I look at my week and then I look at cracks of my day within that week where I could write 10 letters or 10 envelopes or just 10 return addresses on the envelopes. And I try to turn it into a game, so to speak, of like beating the clock, or sometimes I write for pleasure and sometimes I write for relaxation, but sometimes I turn it into a game. And I'm so focused on writing that it helps with my focus and my ADD to not be distracted like, oh, I got to go empty the dishwasher. Oh, I got to email that person back. It's like, no, we're going to do this for 10 minutes and we're going to stay here. We're going to do it no matter what. Since I've been bit with an entrepreneurship bug since 2013, I have been building businesses online since 2013. And I love sharing it with other people so they can do the same thing. The problem I was running into and had run into is building a business online. It requires you to put yourself out there, to make videos, to talk to people. But this is 100% offline. There's no selling. There's no sharing. There's no team building. You don't have to tell anybody that you're doing it. I was never going to tell anybody that I was even doing this. I literally did this as to be the guinea pig for my kids. And I love that anybody can do this. And it's an introvert's dream come true. And I feel like the older I've gotten, the more introverted I've become. And so I love this because if you're writing, it doesn't matter what your neighbor is writing or not writing. It doesn't impact. There's no impact. They're not connected. You're completely independent. You're like on an island. So if you write 0 letters or you write 100 letters, that's all on you. No one cares how much you write or don't write. That's completely based on what you want to do for that week or that month or that year. So the big question of like that I get, and I have such a hard time explaining it, so I'm trying to do it in a video, and I hope I do it justice. I've been putting off doing these videos because I feel like I'm not going to do it justice. It's kind of like I understand it, but explaining it, I fall short. It's almost like when my kids were learning how to tie their shoes. I know how to tie my shoes, but I didn't know how to teach that. So I paid my niece $20 if she could teach my kids how to tie their shoes. And then I I'd paid the kid, if they actually tied their shoes, then they'd both make it. They both make $20 each. So honestly, I know how to tie my shoes, but to teach them how to tie their shoes was so hard for me for some reason, because it's something that I knew. But when you teach something, it's like it takes it to the next level. So what are these letters? These letters are, you're writing to online gaming sites or casinos or these different companies, and you're asking to participate in their sweepstakes promotions that they offer. Then with each letter that you write, they are going to give you $5 of credits put into your account, or they're also called sweep coins. Now, obviously, when I heard that, I was like, that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You cannot pay your bills with sweep coins. That is redonkulous. And that's where my learning curve came in, that they teach you how to convert these sweep coins into cash into your bank. It's not crypto. It's not monopoly money. It's not coins going into your bank. It's actual money going into your bank or Chime account, or some people open up a separate checking account and drop it in there. You can put it into a gift card, but I feel like the money, if you're writing a lot, is so high that you can't pay your bills with gift cards. And one misconception, and that's, I feel like, the hardest part about all this, is people think I've gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and maybe I have a little bit, but explaining it is where I lose people, because I don't do a very good job of it. And I hope I'm going to do a good job here, but it is not gambling. It is not actual playing games. I'm not even a gamer. The most games I play is Wordle and Duolingo with my son. So we have the streak together. Like, I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gambler. When we go on cruises, I don't even put 5 cents into the slot machine, because I know that they are geared that the house always wins. And that's fine. That's how they stay in business. But I'm just too possessive of my money. So I don't know how to gamble. I don't know how to game. You don't need to know how to do any of that. They will teach you in the training how to convert dollar for dollar with a high percentage conversion rate, where you're getting back what you put in. Okay, another question I get is, why in the world would these companies give me or you $5 to write a silly letter? These letters take 4 to 6 minutes per letter, including the envelope. They're 2 sentences each. Why in the world would a company be paying anyone $5 for these letters? Well, these casinos and gaming sites have to stay compliant and have to stay legal in the state that they're in. So to stay legally compliant, to stay open, these are billion-dollar companies. They want to stay open. They have to offer what's called an AMOE, an alternate method of entry. That is so they stay legal and compliant. And so you are asking to enter into these sweepstakes for free by writing your letters. Now, we are writing them in mass because you get $5 for every letter. So if you write 200 letters a week, 30 to 40 a day, that's $1,000 a week, that of sweep coins that are going to be put into your account, which you will then convert into money into your bank. So that is why they give you the $5, and they get to write off your letter, $5 tax write-off with every letter that you write. So if you write a letter and you have misspellings, or you do it wrong, or you use the wrong color ink, if you make a mistake and you don't get credit for your letter, they still get to write off that letter for $5 off their taxes. So it can't become oversaturated. They can't stop doing it because they want to stay legally compliant. Now, this is not, you're not eligible to do it if you are in, let me check my notes, Connecticut, Idaho, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, Washington State, and the province of Quebec, Canada. Those states, you're not eligible to do it in. And I think West Virginia just got added for certain companies, not all. Check with me before you get the training to make sure that your state is legally compliant and that state is written on your license. That's important too. Okay, next question I get is, what are all these coins about, Kelly? You have lost your mind. You are a doo-doo head that you think that I can pay my bills with sweep coins. Obviously, you cannot pay your bills with sweep coins. So in the training, they teach you step by step what games to choose. They teach you how to set up that game, so to speak, and then you put it on an auto spin and you walk away. So there's no strategy. There's no knowing what to do, no knowing what to do. They teach you how to choose games that are considered low volatility or very low risk. You're converting your coins out for money, dollar for dollar. And so the sisters who put this training together, one of the sisters earned $78,000 or something along those lines last year or the year before, just writing letters. So she put together this training program of how to do this. Now, there is a way, I don't know that way, but there is a way to go online and find this information out for free, read the terms of services, and write your letters on your own. I don't know how to do that, so I wanted someplace, one-stop shopping, that had the letter writing, what color ink to write, where to write, how to write, who to write, what my envelopes needed to look like, all of that. I wanted to know. And then I wanted to know, once I get these drops, what do I do to convert that? So all this work that I'm putting in doesn't go in the garbage because I don't know what I'm doing. Because you don't know what you don't know. So I was very worried about that part. But the training goes over step by step, where to click, where to point, what to do. And I can help you too, because I have done a bunch of drops since the beginning of 2025. So I've done a bunch of drops, so I can help you get to that spot where it's low risk, low volatility, and you're not playing. There's no strategy. There's nothing you need to do, so to speak, other than know which games to choose and how to do it. So the training teaches you exactly how to convert your sweet coins into money into your bank. The first drop, what they're called, takes the longest. They say an average of 8 to 12 weeks based on which casino that you're writing to. And then after that, your drops become more regular every week or so, I would say. And so I purposely did not share this or talk about this in my stories, on the podcast, on social media, until I got my first drop. And since my first drop in January of 2025, I have been getting regular drops ever since. I did have to wait the initial 13 weeks for my first drop. So one thing, if I could go back in time, is I would have stayed more consistent during that time of writing. So when my drops came, I had enough in the pipeline, so to speak, that my drops would become regularly. They're still coming regularly. They're just not as large, because some weeks I would write 200. Then other weeks I'd be like, I'm going to write 10 this week, or I'd write 50, or I'm going to write. So it's based on how much you write. And then you want to keep that pipeline full. So then when you do get your drops, they are substantial. But if you do want to take weeks off, that's okay too. Just know that it will be reflected in your drops for your future self. Because I wanted to personally vet it for myself and be the guinea pig, because I know that people trust me. Whether you listen to the podcast, you followed me on social media, you followed my conscious parenting journey, however you found me, or maybe it was first time this is the first time meeting me. I know that people trust me. And so I wanted to do it first and be the guinea pig, so to speak, and look for the potholes and look for the things that will trip you up. And I have vetted this personally, because I would never mess with that trust that I know people have with me. Another question I get is, how long has this company been around? Now, the company that does the training is completely separate from the casinos and gaming sites. They do not connect at all. They're not related. They're not related at all. And so these gaming sites have been doing this since 2001 to stay compliant in each of their states. And so these sisters put together, their names are Lisa and Julie, put together this training in a very clear and concise, light and fluffy, very easy, where you can be writing the same day after you do the training. So the concept of this has been around since 2001 to stay compliant and stay open. The training is new, and I think it was developed last year to show people how to do this so they could do it too. There is a lot of support once you decide to do the training. There is a Facebook group that has almost 20,000 other writers. That shows you how unsaturated this is, because the casinos are loving this because they can write off your letter. So the more the merrier, so to speak. So when you start the training is $199 for your training one time. It goes over everything from start to finish. This is a video module course you do on your own pace. I am not going to be hovering over you. No one's hovering over you. You need to do this. You are in control of you. You can do it all in one day. You could do it all in 1 month. You could do it all in 1 year. It's a very quick, light, and fluffy training where you could do it in 1 day. I did mine in a couple hours. I was listening on 2X. I was so excited that's how I go. It's like drinking out of a fire hose for me, and I can't get enough. Some people get overwhelmed very easily, so you go at your own pace. There is no wrong way of doing this. There's no boss. There's nobody to report to. You go at your own pace. The training goes over everything of like who to write to, what to write, what color pen to use, what kind of envelopes to buy. They're actually not letters. They're written on note cards. It's 2 sentences that you're writing over and over and over. And with each letter, they're going to put $5 credits into your account. The first month that you are in, you pay an additional $25 to be in the support group. which gives you everything that I was talking about with the Facebook group. If there's a change in the terms of services, like a couple of the casinos, they just changed the address where they want you sending it to. So I wanted to know that, and that's really good information to know, that if there are any changes, they are constantly reading the terms of services to know what changes are being made, and they let you know in that group, so you're not writing your letters to the wrong addresses, or you're not using the wrong color ink. You're not writing from a state that isn't eligible anymore. So I really like the support group. If you want, after the first month, I always tell people to do the support group for the $25 a month. Do it the first month and go all in. There's FAQ calls twice a week. That's insane in the membrane. They post all the replay calls. So if you can't be there live, you can listen to the replays, plus all the replays before you even signed up. I've listened to every single stinking one of them. It's so fun to see the growth. They have Bible study on Thursdays. In this training, it's actually called an academy, and there's all these other branch off courses that you can do if you want to build your Amazon store. They have these FAQ calls twice a week. They have every day they have something to support you. And on these calls, they give away free stamps. They give away free iPads. They give away free vacations sometimes. They are givers. And I love being part of the community, but you do not have to be part of the community after the first month if you don't want to be. It's completely up to you. You can keep writing even if you're not paying for this extra support in the support group. That is totally up to you. Now, if you need help with a payment plan, there are payment plans available, but they're not at checkout. So if you need a payment plan of some sort, send me an email and say, I need help with the payment plans. And another writer has made a video of how to set that up where you can do a payment plan based on what you need. This is one thing that I love that I have laminated in my clipboard that follows me everywhere I go. If you see me, you're going to see this clipboard somewhere within 5 feet of me. This right here, I keep in there. And this gives an example. Now remember, there's an income disclaimer at the bottom. This is a very good guide and ballpark based on your goals of what you want to do per week, per month, per year, however much or little you want to do this. If you wanted to write 10 letters a day, for 5 days a week, that's $250 a week or $1,000 extra a month. That would be doing 50. If you just do Monday through Friday, that'd be doing 50 letters for the week. The next one, as you can read, and you probably want to screenshot this, if you do 20 letters a day, 5 days a week, which is 100 for the week, 100 letters, then that's $500 a week or $2,000 a month. Then the next one down is 30 letters a day, 5 days a week, which would be 150 letters for the week. It's $750 a week or $3,000 a month. And you can see as it goes down, the more you write, the more you make. And I would screenshot this because this is a really good guide. And I have this laminated because I look at my week and I say, okay, how many letters do I want to write for this week? It changes every week. It doesn't matter how many you write or don't write. You can write 0 or you can write 100 or you can write 200. It's totally up to you. You're 100% independent. So if you're interested, send me an email, or if you have more questions, send me an email. I will voice memo you probably back the answer because as you can see, I get very long-winded and it's hard for me to type out all the answers. So I hope this clarified a lot of the misconceptions because I feel like I spend most of my day clearing up misconceptions that I have not lost my mind. I've not been hacked. I haven't gone off the deep end. I'm still normal Kelly. Well, not that normal. And I wanted to make this video. I've been putting it off, but I'm so glad I finally did. So if you're interested, send me an email. If you have more questions, send me an email. If you want to think about this I thought about it for 3 months. I hemmed and hawed. I pondered. That's okay too. God's timing is always the best timing. So with that, I'll see you on the other side of this video. Okay, bye-bye.